we would start with our next session in the plan, which is about best practices for sustainable startups. And everybody is, of course, very welcome to stay in the link from the digital. Also very welcome here to the audience in the room. And this session is now a little bit earlier than we have it in the schedule, but since we have 3 of the sessions in the row, we start fluently into the next one.
Yeah, great.
Thank you to everybody here, and welcome to everybody for the next session.
Thank you very much.
And I want to introduce you first, our first startup, Goodlife. I choose it. And Goodlife is from Jonas Bohlender. Ciao.
Hi, that's me. Good to see you all.
And Jonas, do you like to present something? You can start.
Yes, certainly.
You can show us your screen also.
Absolutely. I will just show you my screen and you tell me if it's working for both the people online as well as the people in the room. I can already see it behind you, Esin, so I think it is transmitting, which is great.
Just a moment, we can't see your face, not enough. That's nice.
You're a bit cut off, which is a shame.
You know, it's,
and you are an sustainable, but social sustainable. You have a social sustainable startup. Please talk about. We have 10-minute time, huh? 7-minute time.
I am more than honored to speak and to get to know you. And in the last couple of days, I think we learned about so many amazing people out there just wanting to change something. So my name is Jonas and I want to bring mental health to people. I want to make it accessible. I've worked for 12 years in renewable energies and spent the last 5 years building European e-mobility infrastructure for Europe's largest energy company, which is quite purposeful, I would say, but I still decided to leave the corporate path to invest my time in something that is even greater than renewables and e-mobility, which is mental health. So together with an outstanding team of enthusiasts, experts, I have founded Goodlife. And today I want to talk to you about our mission, which is we want to make mental health, well-being, desired feelings and experience simple and accessible to everyone directly from the mobile phone. So today's objective for my 6 minutes talk is really telling you a bit about the vision and inviting you to join in, because we have just started, we've just put up our first website to invite you all to our community and to follow us along on our journey. So satisfaction for everyday life. This is really what we want to deliver. So at Goodlife, we connect you with people to experience purposeful human interactions. For more well-being, not in 20 days or in 2 months, but for more well-being in your everyday life. So why is mental health actually important? I mean, each and everyone know how important it is to take care of your physical health. But similar to physical health, mental health is essential and the fundament for a healthy, productive life. In everyday life, a lot of people struggle to maintain their mental health. There are a million reasons for that. And there is also no easy way to purposefully interact with others to strengthen one's mental health. So what it is that Goodlife actually does to take care of this problem. So our solution lies in a web platform. In a web platform that is simplifying the discovery and search for personal interactions. So you can easily discover and offer personal interactions with the objective to maintain a desirable feeling. We at Goodlife really make it accessible, easy, and affordable, because you don't need a psychotherapist. You don't need to queue in line for getting a coach appointment. You don't need to wait until you see your best friend again in half a year time, but you can start taking care of your mental health right now. And how does it work? So how can it really provide a benefit for you guys? I'm going to show you that in a second. Let's jump in some real life examples. I know we are just in the beginning, and I said, okay, I don't want to show you any slides, but I want to show you directly what there is currently and what we are building hands-on. So these are some examples of these purposeful interactions people can experience. So you can see it is super individual and it is super personal. And this is also what makes Goodlife different, because we believe that you don't need to watch a YouTube video to define your personality or to work on your personality, but you have to change it in the active interaction. So you can see the topics are quite diverse. It goes around how do you balance out work, life, and a career? How do you work with certain feelings of fear for inflation, for example, but also how do we actually get confident in a daily routine? So taking care of one's well-being together, this is really the key of Goodlife. So it is simple to discover your desired feelings, because if you know it already, you can easily search for it, but we also help you discover it because we provide the tools that make you self-aware what you want to achieve, where you stand today, where you want to go. The key is really about experiencing it together, because we are humans after all. And I know my smartphone might be smarter than me in today's world, but it still requires other people to help me. And that's the third point, to help me reflect, to give me feedback. And also very importantly, I need to give feedback to the other person. So I can't feedback some content I consume, but I need somebody else to reflect myself and to grow. And initially to develop my personality. So this is a very first overview for you guys. So please feel free to join in. I'm more than happy to have you explore the website, and I will just point it out. It's simple. It's www.goodlife.de. And remember, Goodlife with 3 O's. This is very important. So have a look, play around, connect with me, with the team via all the social media but especially also via Facebook or via WhatsApp. So feel free to give us any feedback, and if you're interested, to join along as one of the first users of our little venture. Thank you.
Jonas, this is an idea, and in Corona time, I think it was also interesting to communicate with others, really hardly feelings. Thank you very
Absolutely.
much. And we have audio here, people also here and online. If you have a question for him, for Jonas at the moment, please go. Can you ask also? You can use your microphone. It's easy. Yeah. No question.
No questions. Okay.
No questions.
Then... So just once again, thanks a lot, and reach out at any time if you have thoughts.
We have another session with you. I would allow to introduce you, Irmgard. I want to just say to Jonas, it will be an international project too, European-wide.
Yes.
Now we have some project, startup from Munich and Nairobi. Irmgard Wutte.
Yes.
Irmgard.
Hi, hello.
Hello. I have your pictures. If you want, I can show the pictures later, and you can.
I would say so.
Too.
Yes. Let me just start 2, 3, 4 minutes, and then we have a few pictures. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me. Our program is called Nyendo. That's Swahili and means movement. And Nyendo-Lernen, because we focus, it's actually an educational program, and we would like to offer our youngsters from 14, 15 onwards to get entrepreneurial experience. But not only entrepreneurial experience, because there are so many initiatives nowadays everywhere who focus on entrepreneurship. But what we offer is a global context. So the young people are doing entrepreneurial activities. We will see in the photos later, but they do it for someone in another country in Africa, because I have been living here and I know, have many friends and partners in the slums, partner schools. So the young people have offer what their proceeds to these schools to support children who might not otherwise have a meal a day or cannot go to school. So I chose the context first, in the first place, because I realized living here for 10 years that this global context is super important nowadays in the time of globalization. If you exclude the other side of the world, you can actually not really, well, let me not exclude anybody, but it is harder to make an impact that really is useful and helpful for the whole world. To have everyone in board, whatever you create, whatever you do entrepreneurial, I found this is very, very important, especially living here and seeing the other side of the metal. What we do in Germany, you see the other side here. And to give young people so that they can develop their potential and their creativity in the right way, I think this context is quite important. But not only I feel it is important, and that is the crucial point I want to really mention, is that working with the young people for many years now, the program is not new. I started 2004. And the first 3 years, I was actually mainly listening to the young people. I was mainly like a researcher. And the interesting thing is that all of them who want to be part of my program, they say, first of all, they want to make an impact to the better of the world. Second, they want to meet. They want to meet these other friends in Africa. So, and that's interesting because that also is what Professor Irmgard Wutte is telling us for many years as a result of neurological research, that these are the two basic needs we have as human beings: to feel ourselves grow to the better of everyone, to make us to feel our strength, our power, and also to feel connected. So I was really happy to realize that this is what our young people want. So what we do is not something we invent. We offer something that our people are, young people are motivated. So the motivation is the engine. And me as an educational person, I only have to see what makes the engine work well. What fuel do I need? And this was my input, so to say, in the program, to get the things together. And what input do they need? Well, right now, we have once a year a retreat where all young people come from 5 school firms. So they meet together, exchange as a peer group. That's super important because the model for a teacher is actually, we are growing out. Teachers are not really wanted anymore. So they want to meet each other. Of course we are needed, but we have to know why and for what. Number 2, I offer these young people after working, when they have been entrepreneurial working for 2 years, they can come and visit the friends in the slum. And that is what they want. I didn't offer it in the first place. They asked for it. And you will see photos later. And it makes a huge impact on every single young person. It actually is a life-changing experience. And number 3, we invite headmasters from the slum to Germany, and they speak in schools, and you wouldn't believe it. I mean, they speak in huge schools with hundreds of people, and all people, big and small, are super silent because the energy they bring is so different. And not having always poor, needy, suffering, hungry Africans, but entrepreneurial Africans. That is a new feature in our society. So people are just totally astonished and taken by this. So these are the 3 things we do in order to make it going. And you can imagine now through Corona, that is for us, a very hard time, because none of these things could happen last year. Okay, now I think I stop here and we look at the photos, and then you can ask questions.
Something about the photos I choose the pictures. I worked with Irmgard together last year in Corona time. We did a project, a solar learning project in Namibia, but I couldn't fly there. I never been there at the moment because of Corona, but next time. This is the school, or?
In Kenya, you said Namibia, it's Kenya.
In Namibia, I said. Sorry.
Okay, so this is one school, but this is a very special school. We have 14 schools, and they are all in a slum where there are 200,000 people, 80,000 kids. For the 80,000 kids, the government offers 6 schools, but the rest, like 90 schools, are initiatives from the people in the slums. So this is. And this is now Veronica, one of our headmasters in the slum, who is coming to Germany and talking to the young people in our school firms.
Nice. And
these are our young people there. So you see, that's a different school. The schools are very different, and most of them are super poor. So you can see here, I don't know how many kids, I think 250 kids in one church hall, eight grades at the same time. So you can imagine how our young people are impressed that this works at all.
This is also.
Yes, and here I wanted to show you that our young 17, 18-year-old German youngsters, they go there and help in the way of they are part of it. They do whatever is needed, and they interact in a way that I was utterly surprised. I never thought this would work, even without a shower, without hot water, in a single room, living with the headmasters, under conditions that all the parents would actually almost refuse to send their kids. But the young people really wanted to go there. Yeah, I have no idea how many minutes I have used. It's a problem to stop.
Irmgard, thank you very much.
Welcome.
The pictures are speaking for themselves. Thank you very much for this great presentation. Now we have other 2 great startups. Sarah is it was Africa. Now we are in South America, maybe. At the moment, Sarah Link is from Zurich. And please tell about your startup, fairhero. No?
Can you hear me very well?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. So thank you first of all that I can be here today. It's an amazing people here together. I will start sharing my screen as well. So I hope you can see it. Give me a second. Please let me know once you see it. Yeah, okay, I think I see it in the background, so it should be fine. So I started fairhero last year in 2020, so it's a very, very new startup, sustainable. I lived 2015 in Guatemala for a social project before, and I saw so much need for the girls, you know, like that they can go to school, and for the kids. So I decided, okay, what can we do? And I tried to think about creative ideas. And since I'm coming from the IT background and technology background, I created an e-commerce platform. So I did from scratch an e-commerce shop. And the goal is with every product which is on the shop, we can support a child in Guatemala. So I will go quickly through the agenda. So it's first who we are, what are the problems, a little bit about the girls, why do I focus mainly on girls? Then in general, if you want to start your own business, what do you need to think about if you do international businesses? And then a bit about best practices, sustainable startups. So what are my key learnings? What maybe helps you if you start your own startup? Okay, but first of all, I want to give you a quick video so you can see actually where we are located in Guatemala.
Oh, you cannot hear it.
Oh,
yeah.
Can we?
You can't hear it?
No, we cannot hear it, unfortunately. I think
okay.
You have to share the audio of your computer.
Yeah, if you can't hear it, maybe I will just you afterward. I mean, it's mainly in Spanish anyway, so the main text is written down on the below, right? So that the people are speaking in Spanish. So I think you can see it in the subtitles, whatever they say.
Okay, I think, yeah.
Okay, technical problems sometimes belong to this hybrid formatty, but I think if she puts it in the channel, in the chat channel, everybody can have a look.
Okay, you can also ask questions to Sarah now. You can use the microphones, all of you, if you have a question.
And great pictures. I think it shows that you, read that by heart.
Yeah, so I made this video shortly before Corona started. So I went to Guatemala, actually there, to really showcase, what we are doing. So let me go back. I hope not the next slide, you can see it. So really, what is the issue and why did I actually have a huge heart for Guatemala? It's really because the girls there only go to school like 3.7 years. So it's really short. And if you don't have an education, you can't actually, go to university or achieve anything in life. So I think that's the main reason I wanted to start it. It's very poor areas, right? They live very in the small huts, sometimes kind of slums, right? They don't have water, they cook over open fire. And I really wanted to give them a chance in life. And I think education is one of the key factors to get a chance, to get out of those areas. So what is actually the goal? Here you can see indigenous girls don't really go to school long. It's more or less the parents say, well, why do I need to educate my child if she's getting married anyway? So they marry very early, sometimes with 15, 16. So there's no chance actually to go, and learn for university for forever life. So if you start your own business, I think it's very important to think about different cultural aspects. So I maybe you're aware of Hofstede. I often do that before I go in different countries. I lived, I think, in 10 countries by now, like Malaysia, Dubai, but Guatemala is different. So every country is different. Before I go, I try to educate myself about the culture and what is important to know about it. And sometimes even like learn the language as good as possible, right? So that's just in general. So now we have an association of 33 women. So the women you have seen in the video, they're creating all the products from scratch, all made by hand. So they go up to the mountain, they pick the cotton, they color it, and then they, create beautiful things like those beautiful shoes. And it's all handmade. And we all do that, to give them a chance to have some income and earnings, to be independent from their man, and also to give them a chance now in Corona. It was very tricky for them. They didn't have much tourists coming over to Lake Atitlan, which you have seen in the video. So it's very, very important that they have another source of income, and then they can send their kids to school. So these are just some products, but we are creating all new products every day. So if you have a hint or an idea, I'm happy that you come to me. Let me know if you have some creative ideas. I'm not a product designer. I come from an IT tech background, right? So I'm happy if you can give me some tips. And so here you can see some of the girls who went to school. For now, we only have 6, so it just started, right? It's 1-year project so far. And the long-term goal is definitely, to make iPads or, like to give the girls also, if they're in remote areas, they have computers or pads where they can actually learn or educate them online in the long term. So what are my main lessons learned? So if any one of you wants to make their own startup, I'm happy to give advice. I think it's always important to start with the reason why. So why do you start it? What is your vision and mission behind that startup, right? For me, was to give an education to the girls, but for everyone, it could be a different why. Then of course, creating value for your clients so that they actually see a benefit buying your product rather than another one. And then of course, as like at the beginning, I was like thinking I need to do anything myself. So I created a website, I made a video, I made those shoes, designed them, I did booking, I did the tax law here in Switzerland. And one key lesson learned for myself is sometimes it's good also to work in a team and, to delegate tasks. It's a key lessons learned for myself. And then, of course, always to re-innovate. I think you're never finished learning. And so I'm always teaching myself, I educate myself, I do reinvent a product. So I think that's one of the main lessons learned I have. And you can check out on the website, right? Since the video, you didn't have the sound, which is unfortunate because it's very nice music, but and also the Spanish, very nice to hear. But here's the links to the website. So there's an international one and there's one specifically to Switzerland, where I'm located. And then of course, if you have any other products which you think is fair trade, supporting communities who don't have access, to those our markets, I'm happy to have a conversation and we can discuss together. And then finally, as said, I think we're redesigning products. So if you have knowledge in that area, I'm happy to have a talk over coffee. You find me on LinkedIn, Sarah J. Link, and my email address is linked to Sarah. So thank you very much. And I also have some impressions, but those are just to get some looks, of Guatemala. You see the little girls, right? You see the women are working very hard, mainly in the fields or cooking, and or like it's very basic to life, but they're also very happy people. I want to point it out, and that's very inspiring also for our culture, I think. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Sarah, you were so quick.
Lots of questions in the room.
Please, you can, your questions.
Yeah, thank you very much. I have one question to you, Sarah. Did you think about including local people from Guatemala into like your company team? Did you think about it? And like, what were your thoughts on it? What kind of challenges could be connected to this issue? Any thoughts on that would be very interesting to me. Thanks.
Yeah, a very good question. Thank you very much. I think, so definitely my team, I don't know, in the video you haven't heard it, right? But there's Maria. So she's the leading person of the Association of the 33 Women. So I'm directly working with her. So she's kind of my team, not here in Switzerland with me, but she's in Guatemala. And then also I have Ricardo. He's very skilled with shoe manufacturing. So like locally in Guatemala, I have a team and they're included. But definitely you have to consider, as you mentioned, different cultural aspects. So I think before you start an international company, you have to think in Guatemala, the communication is different. So it's much more about relationship building. So people only trust the person they very well. So it's really going there. That's why I went there last year in February. That's why I really spoke with the people. I understand their needs, their motivations. So I think it's really going there and speaking locally with the people. And then of course it's beneficial if you speak the language. So I studied in Mexico. That's why I learned Spanish. I think that helps a lot too. And I tried to build up here a team also in Zurich. It's a bit trickier because the market prices, salaries are much higher, right? So I will see in the future, how we go forward grow, right? So it's just the beginning. It's just 1 year so far.
Jonas, you want to?
First of all, amazing. I love it. I have so many questions. The most important would be, what is the biggest hurdle of bringing these amazing handcrafted products to the Swiss or to the European market, in your opinion? So what's your main hurdle of being even more successful as you are today?
Yeah. I think for me, finally, I'm not from a logistic part, right? So for me, actually, the shipping part was quite tricky. It's quite expensive. I try to be very sustainable by shipping it via ships in the future, but then you need to fill a whole container, which is for a young startup, a high risk investment, right? So for me, I think the logistics is quite tricky. And then of course, also get to know the brand known, right? So Corona made it very hard. I was signed up for a lot of fair trade events where we wanted to show the products like the laptops and the shoes and all these things, but it didn't really work because Corona stopped all the fair trade. So I think the branding is also very tricky during those special times. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's connect bilaterally. There are very many topics and overlaps. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy to connect.
And there are some comments in the chat. I don't know if you saw them.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Fabian from Paraguay, he says that he could definitely see this being replicated over other countries as well. And also a question to you, Sarah, why did you decide to work in Guatemala? And are you thinking to go to other countries? As a Colombian, and that was from, I think, from Andrea to all. She could see that and would love to collab with you in other cases.
Oh yeah, I would love that, definitely. So I started mainly with Guatemala because I went there in 2015 and I did a social project there. So I was locally at Lake Atitlan, which you have seen in the video. So I really had built up a personal relationship with the people there. But I think the long-term goal definitely is to provide this e-commerce platform for as many different communities who need support financially in the long term, right? So I would be happy to expand to Colombia or Paraguay. If you know some products we could push on the website, I'm happy because whenever we come to different communities, we can help each other, right, to grow. And yeah, so Colombia, actually, I was there already. I love the country, and Paraguay as well. It's very beautiful. So if you please connect with me on LinkedIn, it's Sarah J. Link, and I'm happy to meet over coffee or have a chat about it. Yeah.
Great. So maybe you can also put your link to your website in the chat that everyone can visit. And yeah, that is, I think, in the core of the heart, what we are also trying to do and to implement also with our project Nextpreneurs. We have an event that usually is starting in May. We had it this year in May. Next year it will be in May 7th. And we are trying to connect people from other countries, other worlds, because we are deeply convinced that there is so great mindset in other countries and approaches, especially entrepreneurial mindset, if we call it in this scientific way, where we can learn from and learn from each other. So this is the reason here for exchange. And so very, very thank you for this great example here.
I will write the overview and our homepage.
Yeah, I can write it, and then you can lead to the next one.
Okay. Now we are on time. Now Andrea is here. Her idea with Climate Hub in Hamburg. Andrea, it's your turn. Let us.
Thanks a lot for the invitation. I will share my screen. I just prepared a few slides. Not many, don't worry about that. So just to share a little bit of my own journey. You can see my slides?
Yes, we can see.
In full screen?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Not full screen.
Not full screen?
No full screen, but I think you would have to, what's it in English? Bildschirm teilen.
Vertauschen.
Not screen share, but I think we can see it. It's fine.
Yeah, okay. I hope you can see it. Okay. So my journey is a bit different. I started a little bit about myself and finishing my PhD here in Hamburg in climate change adaptation in agriculture sector using a case study in northern Germany. That is kind of my background at the moment. But back in 2018, I did the Climate Reality Leadership Corp training in Berlin, where I met the really interesting people we are working with at the moment. And we decided to become climate activists. And with that idea in mind, we created our first climate initiative, Climate Hub Hamburg. And what is really important that for us, and I wanted to share the message with you, in order to make a sustainable either initiative, startup, company, is to have shared values. And it's really important for us because we come from different backgrounds and different countries. And Colombian is one, German, Italian, French, Polish. So we were different backgrounds. So we wanted to make sure that we have the same values because we have working in this for 3 years now. So I'm sharing with you our vision and values. That is something that we take a lot of time to work with, a lot of discussions coming forth and forth, but we thought that is really important because it is not, it's not said yet, and it's like Sarah said, it's your why are you doing this, and then it's your passion and motivation to coming through all the obstacles that you could have, then you don't have this angle stone, so to say. So we decided to fund Climate Hub Hamburg because we aim for a world where humanity is united with nature. Like we are really, especially here in Europe, we are really living in these big cities and we start forgetting that where the food comes from, for example. And also that we want to create, we want in our mission is to also empower other people to become climate activists. That was our first idea. And after 3 years, we decided, okay, we have done this for fun in our free time, but now we want to go to the next step. I hope you can see the next slide. You see the next slide?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay. It's because I have 3 screens, so I don't know which one you're seeing. So for us, it was also important to define what is sustainable, because it's a really general definition and has become a buzzword at the moment. So we think that sustainable has to be in terms of time, on the long term, on the long run, and also to create a positive impact. And we decided with Climate Hub Hamburg to become a consultancy company related to climate services. I will show you in a moment. But we wanted to do this disruptive change, but we think in a transition. So it's not like from today to tomorrow to change the world, but to do it in a transition way so we can include more actors and more people, more companies. And that is based on science. And me as a scientist, it's really important to bring out this climate science into the narrative. Also, what is really important that you have to take into account in a startup is that you have to be open-minded, especially if you want to have difficult conversations. And you, as Sarah said, you have to focus on what you're good at. I'm really good at, the climate science, the research, and also to try to communicate the science to other people, but maybe I'm not really good in the business side. That's why I have a partner in Climate Hub Hamburg that is really expert in the business and entrepreneurial activities. So that's what I wanted to say, that we started as an activist, climate activist. We decided to do this in our free time. So we did workshops and climate talks, inviting people that are really expert on different topics related to climate change and climate crisis. And for that, we developed some workshops. And now we're starting with the consulting. And what do I mean with the consulting, especially? So just as an example of what the consulting includes, there is the climate information out there, but it's not translated what the companies need to adapt to climate change. For example, if they need to make decisions in 30 or 40 years frame to see if they make sense to make investments to build a building that is maybe risk of flooding, or to an agriculture sector where I come from, it makes sense to build, for example, in my research, to plant soybeans in Germany. We have to see if that makes sense by the end of the century, especially for the investment of the farmers. And that's why what I want to do with this climate information, to develop tailor-made products and services together with institutions and companies and different sectors, agriculture, health services, or whatever, and develop together with them information that help them to take climate smart decisions. And that's what we're doing now at the moment with Climate Hub Hamburg. That is in the consulting part side. But also we do trainings and workshops. And one of the examples of the trainings that we do is based on En-ROADS. That is a tool that is not developed by us, but we use it. And it helps to bring the discussion also with the executives of the company so far to see what the decisions may look like in the future if they are adapted or included in a global scenario. And we can see if those decisions, for example, in this image, if you change the energy supply, if you change also the transportation system, or you decided that all your employees are vegan for now, then we can see if we can meet up the global goal of the, for example, 1.5 degrees, if that makes sense. But it's just an example of a model. So with that, we can bring discussions and see if the decisions make sense of the global sense or not. And that's what we have doing at the moment. But just wanted to say that it's still developing because we decided to become a startup this year. We have some customers at the moment with these workshops and trying to also with the consulting side. But what is really important is if you decide whatever background you have to, like I said, share the same values, to be open with the difficult topics that you want to decide, especially with climate change and energy transition, really difficult topics, I would say. But what is really important is that if you want to partner with other people, that you have to make sure that this onboarding process is also based on the values, mission, and vision that you have for your own company. And that's it. That's what I wanted to present to you guys today. And I'm really happy to connect with you. So this is the details, but I will share in the chat our website and my email, or also my LinkedIn. And if you want to exchange or anything related to climate research, bring it to the companies, please contact me. Really happy to connect with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Andrea. Thank you. And for your consulting idea and working on it, on this project. It's very interesting from the how to start and end. We look to the questions. Do you have any questions for Andrea? Please let us know. But Andrea, we can work with you with the Institute for Social Sustainability together, because climate is one thing, but the people has to understand and feel and work on it, and that can be work with this Institute for Social Sustainability. And I think we have to work together in this case.